I think that what Pope Francis brings to this conversation is the call for a genuine encounter, the quality of it, because we meet people every day, we encounter people every day. But Pope Francis is insisting, of course, from a gospel perspective, and actually giving the example of Jesus in the way he encounters people and how people are transformed from these encounters. So he's inviting us to improve the quality of our human encounters. And he underlines the fact that this quality is related to the way we meet people, and the way we listen to people, actually, and the way we listen to people and learn from them, and they learn from us, and in a respectful way. We respect their differences and their humanity, and we kind of engage their richness, you know, and they also engage our richness, and that in that way we kind of learn from one another. So it's an encounter in which we are not quick to judge, and but we take time to listen, to get to know the other, without, you know, trying to reduce the person to our own self. So again, I think what he brings to this conversation is the issue of the quality of our human encounters. Of course, as a Christian, and as a Jesuit, and as an anthropologist, in a way, kind of, we are trained to engage human otherness. And in fact, the anthropology as a discipline is based on the quality of human encounters, because you can only learn and understand other cultures and other people if you learn to engage their otherness, and their human otherness. So from that perspective, I've had, of course, through my experiences of priesthood, and my experiences as an anthropologist going out there to do field work, sometimes in places with which I am not accustomed, I'm not familiar. I mean, I've kind of learned to you know, approach human differences and human cultures which are different from mine in a more respectful way. And this, of course, has something to do with the art of building genuine relationships, which can actually become the framework of understanding other people and understanding other cultures. So that's what my own personal experience as a Christian, as a priest, a Jesuit priest, and of course, as an anthropologist, has taught me. Yeah. Let me begin by what I have learned from that. I mean, I've learned to acknowledge that cultures matters. That, of course, we have a shared humanity. There is this shared humanity that we all have in common, but this humanity is shaped differently in different cultures, and And that's what we need to take into account and respect when we meet other people. So that's what I've learned from it. Now, in terms of example, let me just give a quick one, which is related to my experience in the US when I was studying in the US. And I want to talk particularly about the issue of a very simple issue, the very simple issue of eye contact. When, conversing with somebody, I came to realize that in the US, the eye contact is very, very important because it shows that you are present to the other people, to the other person you are talking to, and that you are respectful of that presence, and that you are listening, actually. But from the place where I come from, it is very different. You don't actually look people into the eyes, especially if you are a younger one. You don't look into the eye. You don't look the older one or the elderly one in the eyes when you are talking to that person, because it is considered as disrespectful, actually. And so that's something I had to constantly negotiate when I was in the US, either studying or teaching, and I've actually never come to terms with it. And I only hope that my interlocutors or my friends with which I interacted didn't take it as being disrespectful because I didn't look into their eyes when I was talking to them most often. So that's a quick example just to show how culture shapes our humanity, or culture shapes our humanity in many different ways. And what we can learn from that is that when we engage cultural differences, we should not be quick to judge. We should take time to observe, to listen, to understand, before we move on to kind of compare and try to, and of course, avoid to be judgmental in the way we engage or other people. So that's what I can share about negotiating cultural and human differences. I think that this concept of the culture of encounter, or the reality of it, I want to relate it closely to another concept of Pope Francis, which is again related to Laudato Si, what he called our common home or house, if it depends on how you want to translate it, but our common home, I mean, referring to the earth as our common home. And I think we need to underline this concept of, or this idea of this home or this earth being common, in the sense that we don't choose to come to this earth. We are thrown into it by birth, by our birth, and by God. We could put it that way. And we all find ourselves on this earth. And that's why, in fact, I think there is no stranger on this earth. And I don't like to, and that's why I don't like that word of stranger. I prefer the biblical word of neighbor. We are neighbors on this earth, and the idea of neighbor actually include the other idea of interaction, that of course we can live in different rooms on this common earth, but we are neighbors, and that's, and from there we can build brotherhood, fraternity, which is another concept that the Pope Francis has underline. And so again, whether we are talking about global health, refugees, migrants, and intercultural or interreligious dialogue, all these things are related to the fact that we share a common home and a common house, and we are bound together, and what affects you affects me, and from there we need to find a way to again to negotiate. I mean, first to appreciate the diversity of humanness, but also we need to learn to negotiate our differences in order to live peacefully and on this common home, or in this common home or common earth. So again, I think we should be paying attention to that, and to also, but also to the idea, the issue of boundaries, how human beings create boundaries, in fact, to also create strangeness, you know. The stranger is created by human boundaries, but when God created this earth, he didn't make boundaries, and so it is a common home to us. So that's something I think we should maybe be paying also attention to when we elaborate on this concept of creating a culture of encounter.